Everybody, I have such an awesome treat for you today. We have got an awesome guest on the stream today that many of you have been asking me to bring into the channel and do an interview with. And I am so excited today to have Ken Lee on the show. He's agreed to come on and talk a little bit about his weight loss journey, his journey with Mounjaro, a little bit about his YouTube channel. And you may know him already if you've seen his videos. They're on YouTube here under Fat Guy No More. And so without further ado, we're going to bring in Ken. And Ken, welcome to the stream. How are you, man?
Doing good, Dave. How you doing today?
I always like to say that I'm better than I deserve, because that is truly the case for me.
Absolutely. I understand that fully.
Yeah, awesome. So the first thing, there's lots of things that I want to ask you today, but one of the first things that I have to ask, because I always like to pay attention to the things in the background of people's videos, and that's always intriguing to me. You're like, oh crap, back there.
What am I thinking? Should I hide something here?
No, in the back of your videos, I always see like baseballs and baby baseball bats. You must be a baseball guy. Tell me about baseball.
Oh man, baseball is life. I live 2 seasons in my life, I like to say, and that's baseball and non-baseball.
That's exactly how it is at our house. Now, here's the real test. Who's your team?
I'm a Mariner fan, born and raised out in Western Washington.
That checks out.
Been a Mariner fan all my life. Of course, in '86, the Mariners traded my favorite player, David Henderson, to Boston. So I've been a Red Sox fan ever since as well.
All right. Yeah, interesting how that happened. So I'm a massive Chicago Cubs fan, both in size and the just the excitement that I have about the team. But and I've got 4 little kids, and they're all on board with the Cubbies. But, you know, when they won the World Series in 2016, we were just in love with those players, and they've obviously all since dissipated. So we find ourselves following the Yankees a little bit for Anthony Rizzo, and the Rockies for Chris Bryant. And we've followed Javier Baez a little bit, but he hasn't been very good since he left the Cubs.
It's tough not to. It really is. I couldn't do it though with like Alex Rodriguez. You know, when he left the Mariners, I'm like, nope.
You couldn't follow him to the Yankees.
He's done. No, yeah, I'm not gonna.
But you had so when I was growing up, you know, Ken Griffey Jr. was the big stud. You know, so he was always on the Mariners. So I definitely had a Mariners cap. You know.
Yeah, I spent many a weekend afternoon at the Kingdom watching the likes of like Griffey, Jay Buhner, Edgar Martinez. I was actually there back in '95. Edgar's double that brought in Griffey, who scored all the way from first to beat the Yankees in the first round of the playoffs that year. And
you don't forget that.
So many memories, yeah, of those guys. Yeah,
that's awesome. Baseball is. Yeah, I agree. It is life. I mean, we live those same 2 seasons here. Like I feign interest in football, and you know, just to get me through. But yeah, it's not until baseball season. And actually, I travel for work quite a bit, and I find myself in Phoenix a lot. So I get excited when I have to go down there in February, and they all show up for spring training.
Yeah, spring training, absolutely. I've only done it once before, back in 2013, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. You just can't beat it. You can like walk right up to the fence, and the players are just right there. It's like being at a softball game, but you know, these mega stars are right in front of you. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's when they take the time, more so when they take the time to actually interact with the fans. And so it's a great experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you and I have just briefly kind of met, and we met through BJ Davis's Discord. So for those watching, if you haven't checked that out, I always put the link to the Discord in the description of these videos. Come over and join us. There's so much good information there. Not to take you away from my videos, but a lot of the information that I share on these videos are information that I get from the Discord. So if you want to get it quicker before my videos come out, there's a little plug for the Discord. But you also get to meet excellent people like Ken, who's on the Discord over there. Chad, who I did an interview with the other day, is over there. And some of the favorite users that are always on there interacting. It seems like Michelle is always interacting, and Melissa's always interacting, and Abby. So there's constant conversation going on, not always Mounjaro related, but just a great community that BJ has built over there. I kind of call him the king of the Mounjarians. He hates that type of thing, but he has kind of brought us all together in that one room, which has allowed us to do stuff like this, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's a great group of people. I'm glad that that invited me over, and it's a little hard at times to keep up with everybody because there's so much going on. But
yeah, I don't try to keep up, but when I can interact, that's kind of I just jump in and that's kind of when I will start to interact. But Ken, I want to get into it because you have a channel that really fascinated everybody over in the Discord virtually immediately once you started posting again. And I know that you've got some videos from before maybe you started Mounjaro, but can you just walk us through your YouTube channel, why you started it, kind of where you started from in your journey, where you're at today, and where you kind of hope to take the channel?
Yeah, absolutely. So I posted my first video somewhere. I know I recorded it January 10th, 2 years ago. And so I posted that one probably within a few days after it. And if anybody goes back and rewatches it, first off, I'm sorry, it was really bad. But it was, as I like to say, for me, to give myself some kind of accountability, because I felt if there's people out there that actually watch it, then I need to be doing what I say I want to do with losing weight. And so my overall goal originally was way too lofty. I wanted to lose about 200 pounds in a year and a half before my 50th birthday, which was actually this past October. And I did pretty good on and off for a while. And then after I did a road trip to Joshua Tree National Park, which are some videos about that on there, everything just went south for me. So when I was introduced to Mounjaro is when I started thinking about it again. Well, maybe I should do this, but as I mentioned in the videos, I didn't honestly understand or know if Mounjaro would work for me or not. So I didn't know if I wanted to, quote unquote, waste my time doing more videos just to have that disappointment again. And when it really, the weight drop really started dropping is when I wished I had been doing all along. So that's when I came back, talked about where I've been, and then I started doing some recap videos. And now I'm caught up as of this past Friday, and I will be going forward doing weeklies plus a little bit. My next video is actually going to be a look back at 2022, and then a look forward, some milestones I'd like to hit in 2023, and going from there.
Awesome. That's a great idea for a video. Just to look back and kind of think about where you've kind of been. How long have you been on Mounjaro?
My first shot of 2.5 was September 2nd of last year. So it's 17 weeks or something like that this last week.
And in that 17 weeks, your weight is down
90 pounds in that time.
Congratulations, Ken. That's getting some of your life back.
It's amazing. There's still things that I notice. Like, what was it? Just yesterday, my wife and I, she wanted me to drive her to Walmart so she could just run in instead of having to fight parking. And as we went to leave the house, I dropped the keys on the floorboard underneath me. And I just kind of moved my leg over, reached down and grabbed it. And she, as she often does, caught it before I did. She started laughing. She's like, there's no way you would have done that. You know, in the past, you would have been cursing up a storm, having to get out of the car just so you could get those. And you just reach down without even thinking now.
Wow.
So many little things like that. I mean, I've talked in videos too about not being able to put my socks on by myself because of how big I was. And I mean, honest in the videos, I'll tell you, I mean, when I started this 2 years ago, and then again, a year ago this January, when I started trying to lose weight again last January, I was 595 pounds, and I'm sitting here now 125 down from that, 90 of it with Mounjaro. So I'm at 470, and it's a world of difference of just the freedom. This shirt I'm wearing, let me slide back. I couldn't even button it. Just in July, I think, and now it's loose. I was going to put it on to wear it today because it's my little hula girls, and it's the shirt that my wife got me, and she's like, it might be a little too loose, but I'm like, yeah, it'll work.
That's what you like to hear, though, right? I mean,
Yes,
unbelievable, and that's dramatic. That much weight off in that short a period of time. I'm curious. This is a question that I've gotten a lot lately, and maybe you kind of remember and maybe you don't. It's fine if you don't. But when you started Mounjaro, what dose were you on before you really started to notice, like, hey, this is really helping me out on the weight loss side?
Well, it was about 6 hours in after I took that first shot that I started feeling something in my stomach that I've come to learn later is now that appetite suppression, that brick that I like to call it. Literally 6 hours.
Yep.
And my first week, of course, a lot of it was fluid, but my first week I dropped 26 pounds. So I would say the very first shot.
Your first week, you dropped
week
26 pounds.
26 pounds. Now, granted, again, that just shows how much fluid I was carrying around, which people like to, there's a lot of people at least that like to say, well, it's just fluid. I don't care if it's fluid, if it's fat, what it is. It's still pounds.
Yeah,
right?
You're still carrying it. Absolutely.
And one of the main reasons why I'm trying to lose weight is that last April, I hurt my knees. And so now they're bone on bone. And I've talked about that in my videos. So I don't care if it's fluid, if it's fat, what it is, that's 26 pounds of pressure in that first week that were now off of my knees.
Yeah. And now.
Absolutely. And week one.
That's amazing. So for me, it was a little bit different. I noticed some suppression with all the doses, but and I won't get into why I'm already on 15 milligrams because I've already hashed that out. But now that I've hit the 15 dose, it's not even comparable to what I was feeling before. Yeah. It's like just a sliver on the lower doses for me. So I think there's something with people's chemistry that makes them either respond or not respond to the lower doses. But I'm so glad for you that you were able to see that much in such a short amount of time, because that kind of achievement spurs you on and encourages you to do the next thing and take the next shot or the side effects.
I can't, and I've talked about it before too. I don't, at least on one of the Facebook groups about it. I'll talk even more about it in upcoming videos, but I am actually paying full price out of pocket for this.
Oh, wow.
So my insurance, I got the first 2 boxes for the 25. And then after that, my insurance wouldn't even reject it without the type 2 code, right? Since I am not type 2 diabetic. And so without that rejection, you couldn't use it. So it's $1,037 a month. And I can't really afford that, obviously.
Yeah.
And so I've needed to come up with ways to work around it. The first couple months, we had some money left on a health savings account that needed to be used by the end of the year. So it was use it or lose it. So we used it. And so once I hit 10, let's just say with 10 milligrams now, I've done 2 shots on 10. Once I hit 10, that first shot, I realized, this was a completely different than 5 and even 7.5. The appetite suppression is so amazing that between my first shot on 10 and my second shot, I went 16 days.
Wow.
So like right now, I haven't taken my last shot. Let's see, was it Sunday? A week ago, I don't remember what day it was. Monday, maybe? I can't remember. But I will take my next one on Friday, the 6th, and that'll be 16 days again at that point. And I honestly feel that the suppression with 10 has been so strong for me that I could probably go longer, but then I'm worried about, half-life, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't want the nasty side effects. So that's why I will starting this Friday, I'll start doing an every 2-week schedule.
Yeah.
Just to be safe. That cuts the price in half.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
And I like to say I could justify that by the fact that I'm no longer, ordering from Uber Eats, no longer going out to eat, stuff like that. And so between the savings with it, this again, I hate sometimes it almost seems sensationalized, but this is absolutely life-changing.
Absolutely.
And so it makes it worth doing.
Yeah, I did early on in my journey. I did a video, something like called the weight loss silver bullet or something like that. And it is, I try not to do clickbaity titles that don't jive with, and we're all trying to get clicks, but not trying to put something out there that's just sensational. But it's a game-changing, life-changing drug, even for non-diabetics. For anybody who has struggled with weight loss, I'll go back to one of the first things that my doctor told me when he started telling me about Mounjaro was, he's like, these medications that are out there, like Mounjaro, are right up there with bariatric surgery. And I was like pretty skeptical about it, just because of like, how can a medicine be that good? But once he started explaining to me how really bariatric surgery changes the chemistry in your body and the hormones that your gut produces. Absolutely. That, now they've found medicines that can mimic that same thing. Then my ears started to perk up a little bit. And when I found it, because I was a candidate for bariatric surgery, but my insurance didn't cover it, which, we can commiserate on insurance a little bit, it sounds like. What do they want us to be 1 foot in the grave before we're able to do something about it?
Right. Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, it's been a real game changer for me. And obviously it's been a real game changer for you. That's amazing.
Yeah, I've talked about it before in other videos where back in '97, I actually had stomach staples done. At that point, I was 680 pounds. Honestly, we don't know what I weighed. I had to weigh it at, as bad as it sounds, at a truck stop, on a truck stop scale. That's the only place that we could find to weigh me, and it weighs in 20-pound increments. So I was actually somewhere between 680 and 699. So we just counted it as 680 all this time. I lost just over 50% of my body weight with that surgery. Then I found Coca-Cola, and then I found other things. And over the years, it came back, and here we are starting again at 595. So when my primary care doctor back the end of August mentioned Mounjaro to me, and she said it's very comparable to weight loss surgery, I remembered that. And she said, nowadays they say that the average person can lose about 23 to 24% of their body weight with weight loss surgery. And I just started doing the math in my head from where I was at that point, and I'm like, wow. So that's why I agreed to give it. I told her originally, I'll give you 3 months. We'll see how this works. I was very skeptical about injecting something into my body that it wasn't necessarily designed for yet. And so when you start looking at those numbers and you start dreaming, I suppose I should say, you start, what would I be if I could lose 23, 24% of my body weight? Well, 90 pounds, if I did my math right here, is about 15%. So already in less than 18 weeks, I've lost 15% of that. So,
which is crazy, because if you look at the Surmount trials now, to caveat, I think what I'm learning anecdotally from people is, if you're not type 2 diabetic, I think you do respond better to the lower doses. That's completely anecdotal, but it seems to be pretty well across the board. If you're type 2 diabetic, it takes you longer to see the weight loss benefits. But so I kind of lost my train of thought here. You were just talking. What were you just talking about right before this?
Losing the percentage. Down 15%.
The percentage. Yeah, the Surmount trials were like 72 weeks long. Thank you for helping me remember. Like 72 or 76 weeks long, and that's how long it took those people to lose that 22, 25%, and you're already at 15%.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I'd like to point out too that, again, like most everybody before starting this, I was working on it, trying to lose weight. So I was only able to maintain 35 pounds off the first full 8 months of last year. So I had 35 before I started. So when you add those up, it comes up to like 20, right around the 20% mark that I've lost in a year, with the bulk of that being from this. And again, it's amazing what a difference it is. I haven't struggled. Of course, we all fluctuate up and down, up and down.
Right.
We just had New Year's Eve, right? I had a few things I probably shouldn't have had. Calorie wise, I'm not worried. It's the salt for me. Salt
Hmm.
is not my friend. And so
Yeah.
my wife made some homemade jalapeno cream cheese stuffed jalapenos, right? And I
Oh
said I'm
yeah.
only going to have a couple. I think I ended up with 6, and that's way too much salt. The scale yelled at me this morning, but I know
Yeah.
why I did that, so I'm not worried about it. So the fluctuation is one thing, but
Yeah.
to have that constant, that it's not a, and I'll talk about this in my next video too, how it's not, as we know, your weight loss is never going to be a straight line, but it is almost when you look from point A to point B with Mounjaro, it really keeps dropping, and it's because of what it does. And I've said before, I don't understand the science behind it. I couldn't explain to somebody what a GLP-1 is,
Hmm.
but I know it works.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
know it works.
Yeah. The first thing that I said to my doctor when he first followed up after I had first started the Mounjaro, I said, I don't know what Mounjaro has, but whatever it has is what I didn't have. Like
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
gave me what I was missing, in other words. And so yeah, it really is amazing. And I think it's also, I don't know if you've had a chance to see any of my videos, but there's one in particular that I did after, it was a live stream after an Eli Lilly it wasn't an earnings call, it was like an annual report. But anyways, they talked about the 2 medicines that they have for weight loss in the pike for 2023 that they're doing trials on right now, and one of them is
Oh
called
yeah.
retatride.
I saw that video. Yeah.
And the retatride is like, so you have the GLP-1, and which is like Wegovy and Ozempic, and then Mounjaro adds the GIP, and then retatride adds one more, acts on glucagon receptors, and they say that it's outperforming Mounjaro in weight loss. And so to have something else like already on deck, that's exclusive purpose is to be a weight loss medication, I think is super, super exciting for the future.
I couldn't imagine if it works better than this. Wow. I mean, just wow. I hope they're able to get it out to the masses and make it affordable, because
Right.
everybody needs these opportunities, because
Yeah.
it's amazing.
It's going to come down to insurance companies, like they have to be willing to play ball. I mean, I don't know. It's very frustrating. I get on a high horse when I start talking about insurance, so I probably should stay away from that rabbit hole. But yes, I
Yeah,
agree with you.
trust me. Insurance, my insurance, I work for Costco Wholesale, and we
Oh,
have an amazing insurance. But when it comes to weight loss, anything around it, the only thing they'll cover is weight loss surgery. And as a full-time employee, I pay roughly about $1,000 out of pocket for everything with it.
yeah,
That's it. But how about trying to help us avoid doing that? Not
right,
everybody wants to go underneath the knife, and that's
right.
why when this came about, I'm like, I'll absolutely give it a try. And
Yeah,
it's man,
yeah, yeah. It can be very, very frustrating thing to get into on the insurance side. Mine doesn't cover anything bariatric at all. So, like, I have found myself saying it multiple times over this journey, like, I'm fortunate to be type 2 diabetic, because if I wasn't, there would be no coverage for it. And, I would have no options. I would have no help. And clearly what I've discovered is there's something biologically wrong with me. Then I needed a medication to fix, and I found it. And I get so furious thinking about those that are out there that are in the position like you are, where thank God you've been in a position to be able to afford it somehow, but there's lots of people that can't, and I just
like you
feel terrible
can't.
for them.
Absolutely,
The hopeless feeling, I'm
it.
sure.
Yeah, I'm very, very thankful that, and that my wife is 100% on board and understanding that we're paying this because it's going to not only help my health, but help us be able to do more. And as I've said in my videos, that's why I talk about all the things that I've done those weeks, going to concerts, going to basketball games, doing these things. These were things we didn't do for quite a while, especially together. I would still try to do some kind of trip, even if she came with me or not. And I mentioned in one video recently that I did do that, the trip to Joshua Tree that I said. I hurt so bad every single day that I spent most of the mornings into the afternoons in my hotel room, popping Tylenol and Advil, keeping my feet up, to just trying to be able to go out that evening again.
Mm-hmm.
And now I had a week where there was like 5 or 6 days in a row we went out and did different things between comedy shows, concerts and stuff. And I woke up the next mornings, feet don't hurt, ankles don't hurt, legs don't hurt. That's Mounjaro in action, and she
Yeah.
sees that,
And
and she's fully on board.
it's giving you both your life back in a sense. That's amazing.
Absolutely. Yep.
What a blessing it is
Keeps
to have a good wife.
she keeps saying, why do you just keep going? We're getting too old. We need to slow down some. And I go, I'm making up for lost time.
Yeah, you're just getting
I mean,
started.
absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. So you said you go to comedy shows and concerts. Who are some of the comedians that you follow?
Just pretty much everybody. Watch a lot of stuff, on YouTube, Comedy Central stuff. I'll watch anybody, but I went and saw Nikki Glazer,
Okay.
and then Jay Muse from Jay and Silent Bob from
Yep.
Kevin Smith movies.
Yep.
He was an absolute riot. So
Awesome.
I haven't gone and seen a comedy show in years, and saw both of those. Saw Nikki on a Friday and saw Jay on a Monday, or on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So it was great.
Taking it all in. That's so awesome. I'm so excited for you, Ken, that you're just kind of rediscovering life again at almost 600 pounds at one point, you said, over.
Yeah, well, I mean, going back to '97, yeah, 680 plus, and then just this past January, so we're just a few days away from a year where I was at 595 again. So
yeah, that's getting your life back. That's amazing. And just another plug for your wife and for mine. Like I have a very loving and supportive wife too, who, the biggest thing that she's had to put up with really, because I have the good fortune of having the insurance coverage that allows me to get the coupon coverage, but she's allowed me to dump a lot of time and energy into these videos, which are for the same reason that you are doing videos, is kind of why I did them. Like I want that accountability. I started a diet, a pretty radical diet a couple years ago. It was a program called Profile, and I started doing some videos when I did that, and I dropped like 30 pounds in 2 months or something like that. Maybe it was even shorter window than that. And I did those videos for accountability. And then as soon as I popped off, you can see exactly when it happened. As soon as I popped off that plan, I stopped making the videos, and I was like, I don't want to do that again. I've got this golden opportunity for to reboot the channel, talk about this journey, and doing these videos forces me to do the research, but it also is what I'm also learning as this evolves is that I'm getting the chance to meet other people who, your journey's different than mine, but without Mounjaro, the road that I was on was probably not all that different than yours has been,
Yeah.
and so it just all comes back to this community where everybody is so grateful to have found this medicine, and everybody is so encouraging. It's just, so I'm thankful that she's allowed me, with 4 little kids and a stressful job that I work, that she's allowed me the time to be able to step away and do these videos.
Yeah, it's absolutely, the community is fantastic, and it's great to see that while we're all at different starting points and wherever we're at in our journey, everybody understands what we're going through. Everybody in this community, they know, that there are the struggles. They're there. They've been there. They understand, and so that has been like it's been overwhelming at times how much people have shown encouragement to me, and it's fantastic. I don't take any bit of it for granted at all, because without that encouragement, I very well may have gone back to what I did after that Joshua Tree trip, year and a half ago now, I guess, and just like you said, stop doing the videos, and then next thing you know, here comes the weight,
Yep.
And so yeah, it's
well, I hope, Ken, that you're able to continue to find a way to stay on the Mounjaro. Perhaps if we can get your YouTube growing, you can monetize that, and that can help. I always put this little thing, help me with my Mounjaro addiction, and I put my little Venmo and Cash App, maybe something like that. But I'm hopeful that in this new year that something changes for you. You're able to that's able to not be such a burden, and that you're able to get it and breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's going through, not everybody, most people are going through that worry each month. Are they going to be able to get it? Are they going to be able to get it? And I've got that plus what it's going to cost, and
Right.
I just, again, that's why I've been stretching it out some, so
Yeah.
taking one box, turning it into 2 months. And
Yep.
so that really helps. So like right now I'm set up. I've got enough to get me my next two shots, which will actually get me to around February 3rd, I think it is.
Yeah. 16 days.
So
That's will last you almost a month
yeah,
or
so
over.
yeah, a couple months per box. And so
Yeah.
that's a good thing. But
Yeah.
um, only because of that. And again, it's working. There might come a time where my body says, "Hey, this just isn't enough," and we'll
Right.
cross that bridge when it comes, if it happens.
For sure. Hopefully not. Well, I really appreciate you joining me on the stream today,
Yeah,
Ken. We really look forward to 2023 and following your channel and following your journey. And gosh, with the level of success that you've had so far, I can't imagine what the end of February will bring for you. So we're excited to follow along. Appreciate you joining the stream today. Anything that you'd like to encourage people with before you jump off today?
just remember, take it one day at a time. Just because you've had a bad day doesn't mean it's going to be a bad day going forward. Learn from your mistakes and keep moving, because when you look at your weight loss, you'll see that by taking those steps forward, it becomes giant leaps. And that's what I have noticed in this last year. So just keep going, keep moving forward.
Excellent advice. Excellent advice. Well, thanks for joining, Ken. Hopefully
Yeah,
we'll be
thank
able
you
to
so
do this
much,
again
Dave. Appreciate it.
sometime. We'll follow up maybe in a few months and see where each other are at. And I hope we'll get to do it again. But I appreciate you joining today and appreciate everything you're doing over on your channel. Give Ken a follow, Fat Guy No More on YouTube. And Ken, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend here and a good week next week. And we'll be in touch.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Ken. Take care. There you have it, Ken Lee, folks. What a guy. I mean, what a nice guy. I know that when Ken's channel was brought to my attention, I got right over, started watching some of his videos. Just an excellent guy. Again, Ken is hanging out over in the Discord that BJ Davis has set up. That'll be linked in this description, and we would love to have you over there contributing to the conversation. There's just a lot of I don't. There's a lot of affirmation over there. If you're going through certain side effects with Mounjaro, I know that I've had several viewers that I've kicked over to that Discord who have had issues. Several females having different issues that obviously I can't relate to, but as soon as they popped over to the Discord, especially Michelle, she's a wealth of information and she's so willing to share that information that she has, and so please pop over to that Discord and become a part of the community over there. And with that said, I hope that you all have a great rest of your weekend and looking forward to seeing you on Friday night as we will do our first Friday night live of 2023. We've got some fun things lined up for you, so we hope to see you there. But until then, have a great week.